what's your approach for the Oaks for this Friday?
So looking at the way I start when I normally look at horse racing is what's the pace going to be like? Who's it going to suit for? Now it's tricky when it comes to, well, the Oaks is a little bit smaller field, 14 horses lining up this year, I do believe, 20, of course, in the Kentucky Derby. You're always trying to picture where everyone's going to be. So that's what I did. I did see that, for example, Avis Grace most likely is going to try and move forward. Search Results has a lot of speed for Chad Brown. Also like watching replays. Do I think they look good, or they had a good trip, or they had a bad trip, which sometimes means they can move upward? And then you, of course, start looking at which horses did they beat? What are their speed figures like? And then it's all just kind of a little bit of a subjective gut feeling, right? You in the end try to take everything that you've just looked at and say, all right, these are the horses I'm going to go with. And you hope you're right.
Right.
Not always the case, but that's why it's horse racing. Because even if you ended up picking the best horse in the race, that doesn't mean they get the best trip. They might encounter countless occasions of trouble, or something goes wrong, and then all of a sudden your best horse didn't win. So it's so tricky. And I tend to favor a little bit of tactical speed in general,
Okay.
just especially in those bigger fields, because if you're going to come from 20 lengths behind and you have 13 other horses in front of you, well, you have to navigate all of them. But in the end, with the Oaks, I ended up going 6, 5, 10, 7, and I'll talk you through that really quickly. 6 Travel Column. I've been a fan of her since she was racing as a 2-year-old, winning the Grade 2 Goldenrod Stakes. And last time out at the fairgrounds, in the fairgrounds, so she was so sharp, going right to the front from the outside gate. She used a bit of energy to do so, head to head with another runner before dropping back on the quarter of the leader. She was ridden patiently that day by Florent Giroux before producing her, and she just kicked clear with confidence. And to me, visually looking at that race, she's a pro in comparison to some of these other fillies. Not saying that she has more talent than them, but she seems a lot more professional in the way that she conducts her racing than some of the others that might, on figures, we'll get to her in a second, but there's a couple that might have had 1 or 2 points more in the buyer. But Travel Column, to me, as a finished product, she's just one step ahead of the others. To me, it seems. So I use her on top. Then I ended up using the number 5, Past the Champagne, because she ran within ahead of Malahad, if I say that correct, who's now the favorite. So the fact that she ran within ahead of the current favorite for the Kentucky Oaks, and she's 15-1 morning line, that's already value right there for you. Wonder if you look back at that race, Javier Castellada rode it that day. Did he move too soon? Made this aggressive move on the turn? Maybe. She was in front by herself a long way out. She tried her heart out. It seems like Malahad for Top Pleasure just had a stronger closing kick than she did. She had more acceleration late, but Malahad was further off the pace, so saved a little bit of energy in comparison to Past the Champagne. And Malahad, to me, later lead change, just not as finished as an article yet for me to say, hey, yes, I'm going to take favoritism on this filly. I use her underneath because clearly she's incredibly talented. But I like looking what works with the price that you're getting, what works with what I've seen. And then underneath, I use a filly that's the projected speed in here. That's the number 7, Avis Grace, 50-1. She got an 87 buyer in the Grade 3 Fantasy. She is a long shot contender, but I like a horse with early speed. She went 46 and change for the first half over mile 16 at Oakland Park. None of the other fillies in any of their preps have done anything like that. Clearly, she might have used too much energy at the beginning to leave anything left in the tank leg. So Pauline's Pearl, with the perfect trip, came and got her. If more patiently ridden, she might have more left late. I think she's a contender for the exotics, and at 50-1, surely one that at least justifies a couple of bucks just for fun.
Yeah, why not? You have
there
a
you
little
go. That's what
companion
I
in the back. You have a little companion in it. You have a
Oh,
little
my
companion in the
cat's
back.
walking around. Oh yeah, she's sitting right there. Oh, hello. Yeah, she's here. It's hard to keep her out of the shot sometimes. She likes to roam around.
It's okay. It's okay. She's more than welcome. You know that there's a little rumor here in Churchill that maybe that number 7 Abbas Grace is gonna be scratched because it seems
Really?
that yes, because it seems that the trainer don't like the way how she have been acting this week in the track.
Okay.
The decision should be made between tomorrow or today or tomorrow, later today, maybe tomorrow. But we are going to take an eyes on that. If there's any like a fifth option, which will be in your case.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, you default to the other speed, right? The number 12 search results for Chad Brown.
Correct.
Then she'll probably have the best pace and she's able to stalk as well. So she clearly is 3-1. I haven't overlooked her. The reason I didn't use her though is because I watched that Grade 3 Gazelle. I just didn't like the way she moved. She was clearly better than the rest of that field. Stayed the mile and eighth with ease. I just visually I wasn't into her. So maybe that's just me being subjective, but I was like, I'm gonna just go against her and we'll see how she'll now win the Kentucky Opens, mind you. Now I've said this, of course.
After what you just said, that's for sure.
Yeah. Chad Brown. Of course he
Yeah.
wins.